All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another, for me, race around uh, the Japanese Grand Prix. I'm blanking already. This is terrible. You'd think I haven't had any practice. I'm back for the first time in 3 weeks to commentate on a Division 5 race, and Biscuits, you are very correct. I have missed an absolute ton. This driver championship is much different to how it was previously. Apart from the leader, of course, Starzolf is still leading the way. 206 points now for the McLaren driver. Can anyone take him down? It's going to need some incredible performances, but we've got the drivers here to do it. Dave's Freak continuing his climb. Immortal still hanging out near the top. James, after making his debut not too long ago, all the way up in fifth position on the table now. So we're getting there. Slowly but surely, we're getting there. We're seeing a few more drivers climb up. We are in qualifying Q1 of these 3 sessions to determine our grid for the 50% race. But for the first time in a while, I'm not alone. I'm here with a new commentator for the league, at least. Ash, how are you doing?
Yeah, hello. Thank you so much for having me tonight with you in the commentary box. And yeah, looking forward to see another exciting race in Division 5 in the great league of RSF1.
Yeah, I know you were saying briefly to me earlier, this is the first time that you've seen a Division 5 race, live at least. So you're in
Yes.
for a ride. There's a few names here that hopefully we'll see towards the top. But yeah, is there anyone you've heard of or seen before that you're going to be keeping an eye on, or just all new?
Yeah, I think well, as I think I searched some of the results, and I think I've seen some of them racing before, like Immortal and Wee Biscuit, Thor. Obviously, they were my teammates in Alpine back when I was racing in Division 3. So yeah, looking forward to see what these guys are doing.
Yeah, Thor is continuing his climb, which is good to see. I'm still backing you, Thor. Don't worry. But I think it's going to be a tough race for a lot of these guys today. Survival, once again, is the key, and just making sure that yeah, you finish the race with all 4 of your wheels, or 5, I suppose. There is a steering wheel there as well.
Definitely.
We yeah, on board with James at the moment, just because well, we're on outlaps here. We'll see most of these guys laying down bankers and leaving it there. Only 2 drivers to be eliminated as we start the race with 17. Hopefully, actually, we'll start the race with 18. I know that Rogue is on their way, but is probably not going to make qualifying. But that's all right. We will see them in the race. There is a prediction up there as well. I know Biscuits, you've voted already for who we think is going to qualify on pole. Only 10 points. Come on, Biscuits, you can be more confident than that. Just to see who we think is going to end up on pole position today. Starzorf and James Aaron, the 3 names I've put up there, but there's also an option for anyone else. Maybe Immortal can pull a result out of the bag. Maybe Days Freak can do it. Maybe Biscuits can do it again. Who knows? He's not voted for himself, I guess, so he's clearly not confident. But just be interesting to get a bit of a spread and see. I think anyone could win today, which is exciting. I suppose I should ask, with the drivers being fairly new to you, how do you feel about the circuit? Any points you're going to be keeping an eye, see how people are faring with? Give us some thoughts on that.
Yeah, as you know, this is one of those technical circuits that you have to get to the rhythm, especially in Sector 1. I'm very much looking forward to see how these drivers manage to like go through that first sector, which they call a snake section, turn 3, 4, 5, these like never-ending left right section. So
Yeah.
it's very interesting to see how they cope with this technical circuit. Yeah.
Yeah, there were a number of drivers caught out as you see James just navigating it there through the hairpin on the way down to Spoon. I suspect we will see some drivers struggle with that today as well, despite the dry conditions. Not had confirmation it's dry all the way through, but I'm going to hope that it is. I think that's going to be a tricky spot. We saw a number of people as well. Obviously, this is one of the few circuits on the calendar that only has a singular DRS zone.
Yes.
So we saw a few drivers struggle to actually get overtakes down the main straight. I would hope these guys are going to maybe have learned from that and will try and make some moves down the back straight. I think that's an opportunity there that was missed out in Division 1, as Dark Shadow is finding his car pointing the wrong way, coming through that aforementioned snake section. Raikkonen's out.
Yeah,
what's happened
Raikkonen,
there?
yeah, out. Yeah, he just crashed it. From exit of a spoon, like, you know,
There we
how
go.
it's
Yeah.
happening usually, yeah.
Yeah, just catching the curb on the inside there, I suppose. It's easily done.
And he was on hard tires. It amazed me.
Yeah, I thought that was odd. Perhaps getting some practice laps in just before starting off the race. An interesting approach and not one that's worked. That means we're only going to lose one driver now, barring any other crashes in this session. Number of them still yet to set a lap. So not too much danger yet for these guys. Aaron is actually out on the mediums as well and currently on a flying lap. It's a beautiful circuit though, and it is, despite being very challenging, it's a joy to drive if you can hook it up correctly, and a number of moments to get some overtaking moves done, which is always nice as well. There's a Gravedigger there going very wide through 130 and invalidating their lap in the process. So I'll switch over to Aaron instead and see where they come out after finishing this lap. I know Aaron has said as well that he's quite confident going into today and is looking to produce a result. Is keen to knuckle down, I believe, were his words, and sort things out. So perhaps the Scotsman will see him towards the top of the field today. But it stars off and leading at the moment. There goes Aaron. Only good enough for P5, but on the mediums, that's not too bad.
Not a bad time at all.
See.
I mean, as you said, this is a very, very like rewarding circuit if you get it right, and it feels fantastic when you do. But when you lost in setup and you cannot like get to the rhythm in this circuit, it's just absolutely awful.
Yeah, and we have seen that a couple times, as there is a spun car, which will be so Williams, Davin squad. It is Davin squad who's struggling through the S's there. We've seen that a couple times this season. Issues with setup has compromised people quite dramatically. Hungary was a great race which showed how setup can make a big difference. So yeah, I wonder if we'll see that again today, or if people have learned from their mistakes. As
Exactly.
Just trundling around there.
I've been watching one of these YouTubers, F1 YouTubers. I don't recall the name, but he was testing this theory that actually he tested this way, that he put wing all the way to 50 for every circuit, and then a 0-0 wing for all, and he compared the lap times. And one interesting point was, in this game in particular, when you can like get away with lower wings, it usually gives you a lap time. So if you can like drive a car with lower downforce setup, it always help you, at least in this game. This is my experience. But at the same time, you get more tire deck and lower recharge in battery and everything. So it's just you have to balance it.
Yeah, I mean, that's always what it's going to be, is a balancing act. Obviously, this is a track with that first section that's especially harsh on the tyres. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays into the hands here, but it makes a lot of sense to me as Thor sets a P3 time there, 131.919. I'm a little worried about the number of drivers here who are yet to set a lap. I know the three of them are on flying laps at the moment. There goes one of them across the line. Cutting out a little bit fine here, but we'll see what they can do. Biscuits is going to finish this lap, and he may as well, despite running a little bit slowly through the final turn. As I say that, and he proves me wrong with a 131.6. Moves himself up to fourth on the grid so far. I think again you've got to get the balance, but with the difficulty you can create here with trying to overtake, with the fact that your best opportunity arguably doesn't offer DRS, and how difficult it can be to get past people into turn one. If you can get a low downforce setup that's good enough to get you around sector one without losing too much time, you'll be in a very powerful position. And I wonder if we'll see the guys who qualify in the top 5-6 today will stay that way for the rest of the race, because we can see it mix up quite a bit normally in Div 5, but with low downforce being quite powerful, I suspect we'll see them stay at the top.
Exactly. And the other thing I noticed is if you manage to keep the faster driver behind, like for a couple of laps, the tire situation allows you to keep position. So that first few laps with the tires are young is very, very crucial for the drivers to keep position. If they can like manage their ERS and don't be too greedy, you can balance it as you said, then probably you will be fine.
Yeah, what do you expect tire strategy wise that we're going to see today?
I'm amazed if anyone goes for softs, because this circuit is definitely one of those tire killers. But probably the best would be medium hard, not other way around, because it's extremely difficult when the car is heavy with the fuel, and on set of hard tire you have all sorts of problems like oversteer, understeer, all of it.
Yeah, I can see I can see a lot of these drivers struggling if they go for anything but the hards or the mediums to start. Obviously, it's going to very much depend on where they qualify, but it wouldn't shock me to see Starzolfen start this race on the hard tyre. We know he likes a bit of an alternate strategy, but I imagine James Immortal and probably Biscuits, definitely Thor, but James Immortal, Thor, I imagine all going to be starting this race on the mediums and taking them as long as they can before a nice stint on the hards to finish it off. Any thoughts on the overcut or undercut being more powerful?
Yeah, in this circuit probably undercut works, because when this circuit is one of those circuits when you are on a fresh set of tire, you can like drag good lap times, but as soon as you like drop from the the maximum grips, then you have all sorts of these problems. When you go to the first section, you miss one apex and you ended up like 0.8 to 1 second lower on your time when you reach the first sector. So it's very rewarding when you have fresh set of tire. So, but we have to see, and also I have to point out that this circuit, when it's wet, it's just unbelievable to drive. You cannot find any line that helps you. You just have to manage what at that moment happened to you. You just have to be reactive.
Yeah, and I again, I'm yet to hear from anyone driving if we are in wet conditions or we're expecting any rain today. I would suspect, with the fact that I haven't heard anything, that means it's a dry race, which is good. But who knows? Who knows? We'll wait and see. Forecast accuracy is on perfect in RSF1, so we should have heard by now. I imagine there would have been some complaints, but it doesn't seem like we are going to be seeing any rain. I would suspect, though, we will see at least 1 or 2 safety cars in this, so that's obviously going to play into tyre strategy and everything as well. We did see in Division 1 a couple drivers try out the softs, but I don't think anyone got past 5 laps on them, so I can't see that playing into anybody's strategies at any point today.
Yes, I think I assume the same, and we have to see, because one disadvantage that probably you get if you start on hard is if you get damage, or you'll probably get in some of these races, then you have to pit and you have to change tire, and the game usually gives you like 1 set of hard, and you have to change tire to another set. And if it's happened in lap 1, you are already losing hard tires, except you come back to the pit and change again. So you have to be careful when you start on hards, especially on the start and first few turns. Don't get damage, or because then you lose your sets of tires, your hard tires.
Yeah, it does sound like the smart strategy today is going to be to start on the mediums, but we will find out. Right, here's where we get to crunch time. So, Emotive Carrot currently the slowest out of the field right now and set to be eliminated. They've got 30 seconds to get round here to set a time, and they'll have an opportunity to go for another lap if they need to. Gravedigger, the one in the danger zone, currently in the pit. So if Emotive Carrot can improve here by half a second, they will knock out Gravedigger and move through to Q2. Here they go across the line. It's not good enough, but that's fine. They've got one more opportunity here, so we'll watch on board with the Mercedes to see which of the two is going to make it through to Q2 in this session. Everybody else up top, they're safe. Assuming that they don't end up crashing out. Interestingly there, Aaron used a set of medium compound tyres and made it through qualifying. So Aaron will have an extra set of softs during the race, or I suppose during the next few qualifying sessions, which he might find helpful. But we will see. As Emotive Carrot continues to take this lap down, a reminder, everybody in the chat, you can put in a prediction. I put all of my money in to say who will qualify for pole. You've got 3 options there, and then anybody else on the field if you don't fancy those top 3. One of them is down in P9 at the moment, so I wouldn't blame you for doing so, but get a prediction there, see what can happen. Game sound is quiet, that's no problem, we can fix that as well. You let me know if that's too loud.
Oh, Mercedes of Carrot has problem because he doesn't have any ERS.
It's true, she is out of ERS here on the way down to 130R, the fastest corner on the lap. At least keeping it tidy so far.
Yeah.
Going to be cutting this very close. Around the final corner now comes Emotive Carrot. I don't think it's going to be enough. It's not just enough. Oh, barely. Barely. And Emotive Carrot will not make it into Q2. The rest of our field will. Stars Orphan leading the way with a 131.136. 1 lap was all they needed. Right, James 4 tenths behind them, but it's only Q1. Doesn't particularly matter. Thank you to everybody as well. I've seen the messages. I've not always been able to reply, but thank you for the welcome backs in chat. I do appreciate it.
Well done to Aaron, really. Yeah, 132 with mediums.
Yeah, it's a good benchmark time. If he's able to shave a while off that, that'd be good. And we'll be back in just a. There we go. All right, there is your rundown then for where we find ourselves going into the second qualifying session. It's not a shock. Stars Orphan leading the way, championship leader, showing everybody once again his stuff. It's a very cloudy day, I will say. I wouldn't say there's a threat of rain, but it is certainly overcast.
Yeah, and in effect, tire temperature as well. I don't know
Yeah,
if you noticed or not, but it affects.
I think it's probably going to be well, it's certainly going to disadvantage these hard tire runners a lot more. So we
Yeah,
will
definitely.
see how these strategies play out.
Um, Also, when you like these night race in like Bahrain and Jeddah and also the others, when you racing at nighttime, it's always you have to be prepared in terms of tire pressure because you get. I had this problem before because I practiced in like championship mode, and practice session was at daytime. So I adjust my tire pressure according to that tire temperature and like track temperature. But
Yep.
the actual race was at night, and then I have like all sorts of problem to get to this good temperature to the tire.
It's a yeah, it's one to be careful of. For sure. I know a lot of these guys like to run practice sessions, which is great. There's always a practice session going on between Division 5 guys. As Aaron retires, he's crashed. Oh,
Yeah,
dearie me.
Oh, yeah. Turn
The Flying
5.
Scotsman not
Yeah,
flying so
don't look
much
there.
anymore. Oh, dear.
Oh, man.
We'll see if we can catch a look at his car as James makes his way round. Might not get there in time before the stewards magically clear it away. There it is on the inside. He's lost it at a point where we saw many do in Division 1 on Sunday. So it's not the toughest mistake in the world to make. But Aaron not going to make it onto the front row of the grid today. Sorry, fate. The only person so far to have predicted for Aaron to to start this race on pole. That is that's unfortunate.
Commentator cares. Like I said, I impressed
No,
with him.
no, not yet, not yet. I didn't say his name and then he crashed. It wasn't instant. It doesn't count.
Yeah, it's a long race, 27 laps. It's just the beginning.
Hell plan. Aaron, if your plan is to go like 4 sets of softs, then good luck to you. Slick's currently on a lap setting purple sectors. We'll see if they're true purple sectors. I believe they are going to be the first to cross the line here. Second to cross the line, Daystreak leads the way. Then Slick's crosses the line with a 131.681. It's 5/10 slower than Stars Orphan's lap last time out, who, the Welshman, speaking of, currently out on circuit. We'll see what they're able to do. Nice line through the hairpin there. Car looked stable as well. Dave moving themselves into top spot. 131.322, closing the gap quite dramatically. Wonder if Stars Orphan is going to sneak into the 130s here. As Adam Moore retires, that's a crash as well through Sector 1. Now that's an odd place. You don't see too many people losing it through there these days. I will jump on board with this Ferrari of Immortal. Again, just lost it, spun over to the right-hand side. James setting the fastest time, it's a 131. They're not going to break the barrier. Stars Orphan comes around the final corner now. And not fast enough. 131 flat for Stars Orphan. I mean, it'll be enough to get them into Q3. So I don't know if we'll see the return of that McLaren onto the track just yet, but James now leading the way.
Yeah, very good lap. 135 to 31 flat.
And that's a faster time as well than Stars managed last time out.
Three tenths between top three.
Nice and close. We like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Rather than all spread out as we get sometimes. It's yeah, nice and close here at the top. Immortal's going to come around, but I imagine swing into the pit lane here as they do so. Thor out on a lap. We'll see what they're able to do. Coming through the hairpin at the moment. Now this is a commentator's curse opportunity. Kept it stable, thank God. Stars out of fuel? No, just yellow flags flying around the back straight.
So AlphaTauri of Liam also abandoned his lap. I don't know what happened to him.
Aaron, if you go for it, if you'd like to discuss how you feel, let's do that. Let's see if we can get Aaron in. I'll drop you an invite here. And we'll speak to our Q1 P10 sitter and Q2 crasher out. Thor able to set a 131.425. Puts him in P5. Which again, another lap there. I think 132 is probably all you need to make it into Q3 now with two cars crashed out. Speaking of, Aaron, what happened?
My rear end just decided it didn't want to continue with quali.
Setup issue or no idea?
Not really, just like clip the curb and like I thought I'd kept that, but yeah.
I mean, you obviously must have something decent going on to have set the lap time that you did on the mediums there, and had no, I assume, had no stability issues through Q1 as well.
Yeah, the car felt alright, like, the Q1, it was just like, I didn't even get to do a lap in Q2, I was out on an out lap and I made it like 3 corners. Yeah.
Strange, very strange.
Mhm.
Up until that point, or I suppose through Q1, how did it feel out there today? I was mentioning there it's very cloudy. I don't know if that's set to continue for the race as well, but how are you feeling tyre temperature wise and all that kind of, all that good stuff?
I feel like it's just gonna be really hoping for no rain. Obviously, you guys will be hoping for rain because that's what you guys like. But yeah, I'll be hoping for no rain, obviously. Like, and just trying to keep it clean through um, sector one because I feel like that's gonna cause a safety car in the first lap. So
Does the forecast seem clear?
forecast is clear, but you never know with this stupid game. So
That's true. That's true. You
changing a minute.
don't. Dave retiring there, but that is a chosen retirement for the pit lane. So we'll just see. Again, we'll see 3 cars eliminated so far, but 2 still yet to set lap times. Gravedigger is currently out on a lap. Brick Grit is on an out lap too. So we will watch these 2 guys. Gravedigger just about surviving by the skin of his teeth through Q1, ahead of Emotive Carrot by 2/10. How are you? I mean, how's practice gone, Aaron? How are you feeling for the race? I know you said you knew you needed to knuckle down a little bit more, but what's the confidence like?
To be honest with you, I think I've done like a total of 5 laps qualify, not qualifying, practice for this.
Okay. So not
Not
high
as
then.
much as I usually have, yeah.
Fair enough. And then what about the calendar going forward then? If we're gonna ignore today, like you said, you're keen to get to work and try and close up the gap at the top. How are you feeling about races going forward?
I'm feeling okay about a few that are coming up. Like, I know we've got like Zanvort, I think it's out next week.
Yeah.
So I'm okay around there. But then Paul Ricard, I'm actually just dreading. So
Okay. Bit of a mix for you then.
mhm.
Reckon they're leaving the session. I'm not entirely sure what that is. That's all about. As a Gravedigger is actually pulling into the pit, so not going to set their lap. Brick Grit will though. Aaron, I'll let you go, but thank you for giving us a bit of a rundown. I hope you don't have too many issues in the race there too. But best of luck from what will it be now? P15. Best of luck. Don't get caught up in anything early doors, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you at the end of the race as well.
Yeah, I have to say hello to Aaron as well, and wish him all the best. Yeah, I wish you all the best, bro. Yeah, I just said in Q1, I was impressed with you with like lap and sets of medium, and yeah, hopefully you finished better, and when you deserve, you have the pace, my friend.
Yeah, that was the strategy to have a set of mediums in Q1, so that I had like plenty of options for like Q2 and Q3. But obviously, I'm not there, so
Yeah, just fine. You will do your best, I'm sure, in the race.
Plenty of time. It's a long one. It's a very long one.
Yeah. Spin for me Alfa Romeo.
Oh,
Yeah,
there it
no,
goes. All right. I was trying to get a replay up there of Brick Grit nearly losing it, and then he goes and loses it for good. So missed out there, unfortunately, as the Xbox app has just died for me completely. That's fantastic. Right, I will jump back in there and try and get that sorted. It's all going wrong today. It really is. It's all going wrong. We'll get this sorted though. Don't you worry. All right. Chaos. But what would a Div 5 race be without some chaos? There we go. Let's get that sorted. That's all done. All right. This race will be very tasty, says Biscuits. I agree. I think we're in for a real treat today, with James James leading at the top there as well. I think this could be a very, very exciting one that's about to unfold.
The Alfa Romeo of DC80, despite he has been doing like 2 warm-up lap, it's still weaving.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what the plan is here. He needs to finish this lap, and to be honest, I don't think he's going to make it over the start-finish line here. He's going to be cutting it very, very close. 3, 2, 1. Oh, yeah, just about made it in.
But
so
1% URS.
He'll get the opportunity to go again. Unfortunately, no, actually, he is through as it stands because Adam Moore retired. So, oh no! Oh, there he goes. Oh, he goes. So he's not going to improve, but he should still be through. His dabbing squad is taking a tour through the gravel as well with no front wing on that Williams car. Oh dear. At least the replay is working. At least we've got that for us. Liam moves all the way up into P7. A good lap from him. Immortal currently 5/10 up on his previous best in P8. Doesn't need to set this time, but he's pushing anyway. And I suppose you're not going to use the softs during the race, so you may as well use them now. Here he goes across the line. DRS open for about 20 metres. 131 flat. Moves ahead of James by 0.02 of a second. And ahead of Stars by 4. That is a
Amazing.
big lap. Days Freak up to P6, 131 as well. A couple other drivers improved. There we go then. Days Freak making it into Q3. We've seen him bottle that a few times, so it's good to see the American actually making it through. Brick Grit did crash. He crashed out.
Yeah,
I missed that.
And top 4 less than a tenth. It's just fantastic.
Yeah, huge at the top there. Biscuits pulling out some speed. You love to see it. 4 different cars in the top 4, which is fantastic. 6 cars in the top 6. It's good to see the constructors fight alive and well still. P5 to P10 in the race is Thor's prediction for himself. Well, he needs to find 2 positions there, and Dave and Days Freak are not going to be easy pickings for him, but we'll see. Good to see the top 8 there, all within a 10th as well. But top 4 within
very close.
Within a 100th is fantastic. Sorry, top 8 within a second, top 4 within a 10th. That's incredible. I don't think we've seen. Well, I suppose we're not through Q3 yet, but I've not seen a session as close as that in a long time.
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
Right.
This is the money maker. Then you've watched these guys drive for 2 sessions, Ash. Give me a prediction for pole.
Yeah, it's difficult as you see. Top 4 less than a tenth. Yeah, it could be anyone. Just
Is there anyone who's really impressed you so far, or I suppose?
yeah, I think Immortal was I think has been very, very, very fast. Both Alpine. I think I didn't expect both of them into Q3, but they did fantastic in this technical circuit. Also James, yeah, very fast driver.
Yeah,
I mean, top 6 or 7 in Q2, they were very, very close. Whoever get the lap together can potentially put it on pole.
Yeah, 100%. I think this is all to play for still, which is fantastic. We like a close battle in Division 5. They do happen quite often. So, yeah, it's good to see another one yet again today. Right. Here we go. So 2 laps really here to set a time. 2 opportunities. See a little bit of track evolution as well, but not too much now that we're through qualifying 1 and qualifying 2. Wee Biscuits is going to be the first driver to start a lap here, so we'll see what they're able to do in the Alpine. Fresh set of soft compound tyres for them. I'll get up all of your lap data as well. And here we go. DRS wide open, of course, on the way down to turn 1. Heavy on the brakes, downshift as you go. And off he goes through the S's. This is going to be telling, I think, is going to be the start of the laps here. To see how people are hooking it up and how confident they are going through. Because, and there you go. As we've seen a spin already, that's Slicks, who's off on the left-hand side of the track there in the gravel. This is the lap killer, right? You can play it safe throughout. Obviously, there's plenty of opportunities where you can run wide, but this is where you're going to make or break a lap.
Exactly. And the problem with this circuit, as I said, is if you like get the entry of one of these corners wrong, you will end up to get the others wrong as well, and
Yep.
you will lose time after time and after time. You have to get to the rhythm and nail all apex. You have to do it. No other way.
The only positive thing, although I'm sure many of these drivers will see it as a negative, they're coming away from racing at Circuit the Americas last week. So they've at least had some practice in a very similar situation. I know they're different tracks and they obviously play quite differently, but they've at least had some practice with that. I don't know if that's going to translate into much, as Wee Biscuits becomes the first driver to break into the 130s with a 130.529. What a lap that is. I don't know where that's come from. It's a big improvement that puts him a second and a half in front of his teammate. Dave crosses the line there with a 130.6. That's pretty good, but it's nothing on Biscuits.
Yeah, great lap by Biscuit.
Days Freak on the way around the final turn, but he's invalidated. Starzolfen backed off. He's going to pull into the pits here as well. So he might get an opportunity at 2 more attempts here. Hadn't invalidated that lap, but clearly hadn't gone as the Welshman had hoped. James, now approaching 130R, slings it left, and he's going to get very heavy on the brakes here into this final chicane. We could see a few overtakes through there during this race. We're definitely going to see some contact, I'm sure, at some point. Swings it right now. DRS open for a very short amount of time. Crosses the line. James, only good enough for P3. It's an improvement of about a tenth from where he finished in Q2, but not enough to topple the Alpine.
Yeah, great lap, as I said, by Wee Biscuit in Alpine, and also the lap by Dave in Red Bull, who also is like the 1/10 down, but still is a great lap.
Yeah, he's found himself up a few positions from where he was last time out. Only 3 drivers yet to set lap times. Daysfreak aborted his first due to an invalidation, but he is out for another. Starzolfen pulled into the pits. Dark Shadow just simply hasn't had an opportunity yet. I think, though, they have had a spin going through Sector 1. Slicks as well, not set a representable lap time yet. 2:06 is certainly not true pace, so we'll see them, I'm sure, in a second setting another time here, as there they go. A 131.446, good enough for P5, moves Thought down to P6. Day 3 crosses the line now. It's only good enough for a 133.7, last so far, but on a scrubbed set of soft compound tyres. I imagine we will see an improvement there. They've got to get a motor on, though, to get around this lap, back into the pits and back out again. It's not going to be easy. Dark Shadow, I need to double check that, but I'm pretty sure there's no front wing. And indeed, that AlphaTauri nose is looking pretty barren. James navigating the Casio triangle, but on an in lap, so nothing to worry about there. I suppose Stars Orphan then is going to be the next person to be keeping an eye on as they make their way around the hairpin on the way up to Spoon. We'll see what they're able to do in this race. Currently, so far, those who predicted for anyone else are comfortably winning the rest of the points today. So congratulations to Slicks. You look like you're in a good position so far. Right, here goes Stars Orphan then, on the way down to turn 1, setting their first flying lap of Q3. This is quite possibly going to be their only opportunity. It's definitely going to be their only opportunity here, so it's a one-shot qualifying scenario for the championship leader here. If they don't set one, they're going to be... oh, they'll be in a tricky spot to come through and set another. But it's a purple sector 1 so far. It's a tight one. It's a tight one for Stars Orphan.
Yeah, the Soul McLaren. Let's see what he does.
Once again, on the way up to Spoon here. Going to be interested to see the kind of line and angle they're taking through. As I've said, I think this is probably going to be the best overtaking opportunity as you come off this corner. You're carrying near enough 120 miles an hour of speed before you even exit the turn, and you're straight on to a very long straight, which continues through a very fast corner into a very heavy braking zone. So this really feels like the spot, but you've got to keep alongside your opponent, and that is not always the easiest task. Here goes the Welshman then, around the final corner now. Going to flick open the rear wing, crosses the line. It's not anywhere near enough for pole position, a 131.042. It's a very, very slight improvement on their previous best in Q2. And Stars Orphan is going to be finishing or starting this race at most on the second row of the grid. That is a bit of a shock. BVB thought... Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go on.
Thought 8/10 up on his previous best then at the moment. Exiting the hairpin there. Trying to keep things as tidy as possible. It'd be good enough to put them onto the second row and demote Stars Orphan as things currently stand. 2 Alpines in the top 4. It's been a long time since we've seen that happen. Comes Thor though. We've seen a few drivers run out wide through 130R, only 4/10 up now on his previous best. He's going to need to find a significant amount of time through these final turns, but this is where you're going to make it up, and the rest of this lap takes that quite tidily, maybe a little wide on the exit there, keeping it nice and tight on the inside of the final turn. Crosses the line, does improve, only good enough for P5 though, can't dethrone Stars Orphan. Slicks crosses the line there, but only good enough for P7. I don't know what went on there. It's told me they were 35 seconds back. Dage Freak retiring in the pit lane. P8 is the highest we'll see them. Dark Shadow unable to set a time so far, so they will well, got an opportunity to do this. They should have enough time, in fairness, to get back around before this lap comes to an end. We Biscuits on a 5-minute lap, according to the game here. I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. Going very slowly now as they make their way through the triangle to begin their final flying lap of this qualifying session. James is out as well, but they're just about to cross the line here. But again, 2 warm-up laps seems to be the key for a lot of these drivers.
Yeah, that's what I noticed. Some of them actually did 2 warm-up laps.
Yeah, Dave following suit. He's going to start as well. So it'll be Biscuits. It won't be Biscuits because he spun out of turn one finds himself going the complete wrong way and is now cutting grass just for good measure. So James will fly past him and start his final flying lap. Wee Biscuit, a 130.529 has set down the benchmark, and now the rest of these drivers are going to have one more opportunity to get past it. Thor reckons he's messed up Q2.
Oh man.
Dark Shadow invalidated? What happened?
Yeah. He invalidated the lap. Went very wide after download.
Be P10 then for Dark Shadow. Won't get another opportunity to set another lap in this session. James heads down now, so we'll watch on board with James, and then it'll be switching over to Dave, who's only a couple corners behind him. James with a purple sector 2, he's 2.5 seconds up, 2.5 seconds, 2.5 tenths up on his previous best. Immortal still in P3, dividing them at the moment. Here comes James around the final corner, crosses the line, moves up to pole position, a 130.5, beats out Biscuits by 0.02 of a second, but Dave has an opportunity here. He's a 10th down on his previous best at the moment. He's got to find 2. Cuts the corner, somehow doesn't invalidate, crosses the line. Not enough though, a 130.9, as good as he can possibly do. That is it for qualifying. So James does indeed, the driver that nobody voted for, indeed does finish in pole position, and will lead this full field down to turn 1.
Yeah, fantastic qualifying. It's just nothing between them.
That is tough for Biscuits, who set a phenomenal time there early on. Unfortunately, had some issues there later in the session, but James, another pole position for the Haas, and Stars Orphan struggling as well, not anywhere close to where we thought he might be. P6 start for the Welshman. There we go then, a look at your starting 10 for this 50% race. James will lead the way down to turn 1 with Biscuits for company on the front row at the grid. Then you've got Dave, Immortal, Liam, Stars Orphan, Thor, Slicks, Days Freak, and Dark Shadow rounding off the top 10, who didn't manage to set a time in qualifying. Yeah, Liam P5, the Scottish boys coming out in force today. Aaron had set a fantastic time. Unfortunately, definitely had some issues in Q2, but has an opportunity to make it up in this race with the strategy. There we go then. A bit of a mix, but a good field. This is going to be an exciting start to this race.
Yeah, I hope so. It definitely was a very, very close qualifying, and yeah, looking forward to it. And the sun shines and no rain, so
It's a lot sunnier this time.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
So probably encouraging for those who want to start on hard.
How many safety cars, full safety cars, do you think we will see in this race?
I hope none.
You hope
but
none.
but yeah, probably it's more than once, definitely.
We'll put another prediction in for people to vote. I will leave it at over under 1.5. We'll put it there. We'll let what people we'll see what people do. Yeah, Corks, thank you for the suggestion. I'll see what I can do. See what I can do. See what people reckon. We will see during this race. Here is a look as we wait for our drivers to ready up. They get a short break. There is the standings once again. Yeah, Liam, phenomenal performance from him. Scored 0 points so far. Had a few shockers when he drove for Red Bull at the start of the season, but he's taken some time to practice and come back now in stunning form. Opportunity, hopefully, to get his first points finish of the season here. Yeah. Yeah. I think that is going to be. It would be a useful approach for people to take today, with how close the racing often is at this track. I think it would be a smart thing for people to consider doing, but we'll see if that comes to fruition during this race. It's easier said than done, obviously, and when you're in the middle of a pack here, everyone's fighting to get ahead, of course, but hopefully we'll see a bit more smarts today. All right. Here we go then. Making their way around this circuit for one final time before we get underway with this race. Let's have a look at the tyres. James is starting this race on the mediums, which was expected, but Immortal is going to be the one starting on the hards. Mixed further down the field as well. Adam Moore, who crashed out in Q2, is going to be starting on the hards as well, as is Dabbin Squad, as is Emotive Carrot. Aaron starting on the medium, so split strategies for Mercedes, split for Williams, split for Alfa Romeo, split for Ferrari. Teams playing together properly, you like to see it. Two drivers disqualified there. That must have been for contact between them, but that's all right. They'll still get to start this race. 17 drivers will make their way down to turn one in just a few seconds' time. James has got to get away to a good start here to avoid getting caught up in any drama further down the field. I believe they're all lined up. There's a Red Bull. No, there's a Red Bull in the wrong position. And here we go then. The lights ticking out. And they're away. That was a very slow start for Dave in the Red Bull. He's going to struggle to get alongside anyone ahead of him. Drama further back. There's contact made as there was a ghosted car who's gotten through someone else. That's Dave's Freak having issues by the looks of things. He's way off in the gravel. There's a spun Ferrari as well. One car retired. Two cars retired already. Contact made further down. It's a full safety car already. And that's our first of this very long 27-lap race.
Exactly. So we lost a Ferrari and Alfa Romeo.
So Mr. Adam Moore started this race on the hards. Unfortunately, already out of this race, as is BRL Slicks, who had a very, very good start.
And unfortunately for Immortal also, starting on hards, he started fourth, I think, now in 15.
Yeah, had a spin coming through turn 1 by the looks of things. These drivers need to be careful. Liam's up to P4. That's awesome for him. As Raikkonen retires. Oh, no. I think Brickrit's been caught up in that as well. Yeah, no front wing. Oh, my days. What's happened there? There's two cars in the pit lane. Days Freak, I think, got damage from whatever incident happened at the start. I'm worried that these cars are going to be very bunched up here going through into turn 1.
Yeah, both Williams and Aston Martin, they both change wing.
I think that was from a previous incident. Brickrit, though, was definitely caught up in whatever just happened there. So we're now down to 3 cars out of this race already. And we're not even on lap 3.
Wonderful.
In fact, we've not even had 2 corners of racing yet. We have 3 cars out.
Yeah, in the real world, probably they would red flag the race and they went back to their original position at the start.
Unfortunately, we don't have that luxury. Brickrit has gone onto a second set of hards there, I think, actually, right?
Which one?
DC80 Brickrit in last at the moment. I thought I spotted contact made there. I think that might have been a lag situation, as Aaron has somehow picked up a 5-second time penalty there for making contact with Thor. It looked a little bit glitchy. I'm not entirely sure what happened, but the stewards awarding him with 5 seconds. Your top 3 remains the same, but big moves everywhere else.
Yeah, as I expected, Aaron pitted again because he wanted to probably get rid of this penalty. Yeah, that's what it does.
I'm kind of surprised to see him go on to the mediums, to be honest. it wouldn't have shocked me if he'd gone onto the hards and then back to the mediums. Because he's last anyway.
Yeah.
But no, deciding to swap onto the mediums. Well, I suppose... Yeah, just because... Well, I suppose it doesn't really matter. He'll just use a new set of mediums now. He's barely done any racing on that first set, so it shouldn't be a particularly big deal anyway. But, yeah.
And he also got rid of that penalty 5 second.
Yeah. The pit lane bumps are because I believe the pit lane or the front straight here at Suzuka is downhill, so they have to flatten out the pit boxes so the cars don't just roll away.
Yeah, I think
An unusual one for sure, not something you see very often, but yeah, I believe that is that's the situation. Right, so, well, never mind. They got ahead of me. I was going to say, in Division 1 on Sunday, the safety car was called in as they were on the Casio triangle, and it just hooked a right and dove into the pit lane. Luckily, these guys have had a little bit more of a warning today, but we'll see how much good it's going to do them as they make their way around the final corner. James will lead them. He's going to lead this as late as possible because it's a very long straight here down to turn 1. We'll watch on board with Liam. Dave's been caught out a little bit once again, but he's got a much better launch than Liam did. He's not going to get close enough to make a move, unfortunately, but further back here, not too many drivers right on top of each other just yet. As a Mercedes, looking like in a bit of danger there from Dave's Freak, but they're all right so far. There's an AlphaTauri off to the right-hand side. There goes Liam's advantage. All his hard work undone already. Dabbing squad struggling through the S's there, and there's a spin as well for them, just about keeping it out of the wall, swinging all the way back across, just about saving it before they get onto track as well. Very good bit of driving there from Dabbing squad to save it, but an unfortunate spin as well. Wee Biscuits right on the tail of James here, not trying to give him any room to get away and break that DRS gap. 1 second, the magic number, and Wee Biscuits got him firmly within there at the moment. Oh, Dark Shadow breezing past Thor there, had a little bit of a moment. Oh no, and these spins! Oh, got past Thor, who clipped the curb on the right-hand side and had to dodge to the right-hand side to save himself. Ends up with... Dark Shadow losing the car then immediately afterwards. What on earth happened there? He just caught the inside curb, spun himself around. I don't think contact was made again with Thor, although it was very close. Could have been disaster.
And meanwhile, James and Wee Biscuit trade fastest lap.
And Wee Biscuit's hunting him down. They're very, very close. Hanging in there as best he can. I suppose Biscuits really needs to be looking to put as much of the pressure on here as he can in these early stages to try and wear down James's ERS as well, make him use up more tyres.
And interestingly, both are almost similar ERS.
Keeping it even then so far, but this lap, as we see DRS come into play for the first time in this race, see what's going to happen there. Dark Shadow with another spin further down the field, but he's not going to be in the way of anybody, fortunately. Aaron currently down in P10. He's made up a few positions on this restart already, thanks to a couple spins, but he's made a few overtakes as well to get his car back up into the points position, trailing his teammate though. as it stands. Right, here is where I think the opportunity is going to be. Biscuits is not using any ERS at the moment as they make their way down to 130R. Set to purple sector 2 though, so he clearly doesn't need it as it stands. Flashes on the overtake mode as they go into the Casio triangle. What a dive from Wee Biscuits to get ahead there. And he's not just, I think, going to have DRS. He doesn't as it gets activated this lap, I believe. But what a move to slip through there out of nowhere, really. Suppose saw it was on, flicked on the overtake, and gets his Alpine into starting position. James is trying to battle, though, get back alongside as they make their way into the S's. Decides not to make the move that time, though, and it's probably the smart decision to make. Yellow flags flying further back. There's contact made between Days Freak and I think that was Gravedigger. They both got going again, though. But the Williams struggling too. Aaron gains another position, as does his teammate. And the gap between Thor and the rest of the pack continuing to widen. I'm not a particularly big fan of the bikes, but there's definitely a peloton forming here. Oh, there's a retirement. It's in the pit lane. I don't think it's going to cause a safety car. It's not going to cause a safety car, so it's safe, yeah. There's 5 cars at the top of the field here that are continuing to break away. 3 of them obviously not within DRS of each other. Dave, Stars and Thor are all outside of a second. And as I say that, Stars is just about clawing that Red Bull back into his grasp to hopefully get DRS down the front straight. There's a big spin. It's a spin for Automotive Carrot. They've not collected anybody in the process, but coming out of Spoon, they've got their car pointing in the wrong direction. And now Aaron back ahead of his teammate up into P8 as well. The comeback definitely on for the Mercedes driver.
Oh, Carrot. He was like gaining 10 places, and it's just unfortunate for him.
Lots of yellow flags as the AI-controlled car of Dark Shadow has made its way back out onto track, but has luckily pulled over to the right-hand side there. There's a very close fight going on between 3 cars, Aaron, Immortal and Gravedigger, all incredibly close to each other here as they make their way through Sector 1. The Scotsman might be looking for an overtake or 2 if he can get by. That Aston Martin is weaving all over the place, but is managing to keep those 2 drivers back for now.
And meanwhile, James back on the lead.
Yeah, made the move down into turn 1 with the use of DRS. So James capitalising where the drivers in the top division couldn't. But I wonder if we'll see a bit of a trade. He's continuing to pull away though. So perhaps instead feeling more confident in leading as Immortal tried to go up the inside of Gravedigger. Couldn't get the move done because Gravedigger has pulled back alongside as they go through the hairpin. More traction on those medium tyres, of course. Immortal has now gotten ahead. Aaron has lost out 2 positions, ran out to the right-hand curb going into the hairpin. Couldn't get the car slowed down in time. Maybe a bit of a lock-up as well. So he's lost 2 positions and is now back down into P10. And this battle for P6 is continuing to be a feisty one.
Yeah, exactly. Very close battle. And James continues to increase the distance.
Yeah, and in fact, Dave has managed to switch this up completely and is now right on the tail of Biscuits. So Biscuits has to turn to a completely different fight to what he was dealing with just a second ago. This, I think Gravedigger here has gone for the low downforce setup, Ash. And I think you're right that it's proven to be quite successful so far. Because they're really struggling here through Sector 1, but they were able to fight off Immortal fairly convincingly for a while there, and don't seem to be in any danger going down the back straight. But it's as soon as they get into Sector 1 that they're struggling.
Yeah, exactly. And as we discussed before the race, you see, as soon as your tire lose the highest level of grip, yeah, you will struggle. Like as you see, like we beat Wee Biscuit. He was like leading the race, and now during 1 lap he lost about 1.4 seconds.
Yeah, obviously with having to defend, he's used a lot of his tyre to do that. Liam is out of ERS, but is trying to get a move done on this Aston Martin. And again, the speed that Gravedigger has is immense, but he's sometimes struggling to keep it on track going through 130R, and he's struggling to get it slowed down into the hairpin as well. But he's leading and didn't really seem to be at risk of being overtaken at any point through Sector 2 and Sector 3 there. And again, even with DRS, Liam only gaining about 0.2 down that front straight, taking a lot of curb on the inside there as well, but is I think lucky to not spin. And suddenly they're right up inside the gearbox of that Aston Martin. 3-second time penalty though, as they've run out over on the right hand side there, going very wide as they get to the next section of corners. Takes a lot of curb as well. Something not going right for Liam here at all. He's all over the place, and this might give Dave's Freak an opportunity to get back ahead. The American surely sizing up his prey here. There goes Liam all the way over to the right hand side. Took way too much curb there, completely offline, and I think probably just needs to calm down. And again, it's as you were saying, it's further in the lap, but if you don't get these corners hooked up right properly, you're set up awfully for the next one and the one after that.
Exactly. It's just like a chain reaction. And meanwhile, the Alfa Romeo of DC80 lost wing, probably going to pit.
So a fastest lap there for James on 10 lap old mediums, bar a couple non-racing laps there for the safety car conditions, as setting the fastest time. So the pace clearly still there for the Haas at the moment. Wee Biscuits has dropped off, but maybe in an effort to save ERS and tyre wear. Doesn't seem to be in much danger from Dave behind for now, but we'll keep an eye on that battle too. Dave's Freak continuing to size up this Aston Martin. Not able to get the move done just yet, but with a few laps to go before we start to see people pit, I suspect. There's still opportunity here to get ahead and gain a little bit more time. DC80 Brick Grit into the pit lane now. And there you go, past Gravedigger, who had a moment going underneath the tunnel, and find themselves now in P8. Dave's Freak, though, with a job to do to catch up to Immortal now. The Ferrari gaining 3.7 seconds from that small pack that we saw, cementing his P6 for now. When do you reckon, obviously that safety car is going to push things back a little bit, when do you reckon we'll see these guys start to come in for strategic pit stops?
Yeah, probably these medium runners probably pit somewhere between lap 13 to 15. But I'm interested to see what will happen to Immortal if we get no safety car from now. He's in a good position, 14 seconds from the lead on set of hard. I'm excited to see what he does.
Yeah, Immortal running very strongly so far. He's done a very good job to avoid getting involved in too many incidents after his issues that he had going through turn 1. Dave taking a 3-second time penalty, just got caught on the curb on the left-hand side there. Couldn't get off of it. It's cost him with the penalty, but it's also cost him with the gap that he had to Biscuits. 0.6 he's lost just through that corner alone. He's now way outside of DRS range, and he's going to have to really get a move on if he wants to get back in close to that Alpine. Emotive Carrot with a spin going through Sector 1. Must have had some issue there. She's managed to get going again, though. No damage by the looks of things, so they'll be back on their way. Not where Dave wanted to be at all, as Gravedigger having issues through the hairpin. That's a spin by the looks of things for the Aston Martin. So they're now outside of the top 10. Liam gains another position, back up now into P9 after his moment and penalty. seems to be a lot of these drivers here, rather than making overtakes, are just waiting for their opponents to make mistakes. Biscuit's looking comfortable now in P2, not where he wanted to be for sure, but with 80% ERS left to utilise, and Dave on significantly less with that penalty as well, seems like second step on the podium is looking assured for Wee Biscuits, barring any mistakes, of course. That's a purple sector 2 for the Alpine there, hooked up that lovely on his lap, not using any overtake mode, so it doesn't seem to be pushing for fastest lap, but maybe if he can get a nice run through the rest of this, he might find himself with a little purple clock next to his name. And a bonus point, of course, assuming he does remain in the top 10 by the time we finish this race. Yellow flags flying across the field. I don't know what that's for. That doesn't... It's a virtual safety car.
Oh.
Okay. No clear indication what that's for. There was certainly no retirement. I didn't see anybody parked up for too long.
Williams of doubling squad. He
Losing
just
it through the
crashed,
hairpin?
in a hairpin, yeah.
So losing it under virtual safety car conditions. James is going to pit from the lead of the race here. As are the remainder of our top 5, the virtual safety car is done. So James has certainly profited the most from this by a very long way, but Immortal is going to take the lead of the race on the hard compound tyres, and he'll be a ways ahead of the next closest car as well, being James. 4.5 seconds the gap for now, possibly more, as James needs to get those tyres heated up. He is obviously going to have the advantage. The grip off those fresh hards will do him some favours over Immortal for certain, but the gap over 5 seconds already, and with quite a heavy car still, James is going to need to make some moves happen fast. Dave's Freak didn't pit there, so he's moved himself up into P3, splitting James and Biscuits for now. Biscuits did pit as well onto the hards, as did Dave, as did Stars, as did Thor. So top 5 runners all pitting. Immortal though leading the way on the alternate strategy. This battle continuing though between Biscuits and Dave. The gap exactly the same as it was before. Dave, obviously with that 3-second time penalty, still you can't serve those in the pit lane, so that will just be added on to his time at the end of the race. Something I'm sure he's not overly happy about. He's got an opportunity here though. Gained a bit of ERS through that safety car period. Not using it though on the way down to 130R. Still gaining time though on Wee Biscuits. He's going to have DRS. It's enabled straight away after a virtual safety car. And maybe the Red Bull going to look to get ahead of the Alpine here. They make their way through the chicane. Gets the signal early that he's got DRS. He's going to utilise it as early as he possibly can here, not using overtake mode, and perhaps Dave happy to just sit behind with that penalty and utilise the slipstream. He's not going to go for the move at all. If I can at some point, Corks, I will certainly have a look for you. It did look like a crash, but we'll check if we can. Motive Carrot with a disconnection. That's unfortunate. They were having a great race so far.
Yeah, that's what I thought, because that was very strange. He had no front wing, and then he went out to crash out of the hairpin.
Would you be able to check if you go into Race Director, and then we'll be able to get it confirmed if it's...
Yeah.
Which it is. Much appreciated. At least we'll know then for certain. Dave now outside of DRS range. He's going to have to use overtake mode to try and claw the gap back close, and he has indeed. I think Biscuits has added on a bit of a front wing angle here to give himself a little bit more downforce, because he's losing a lot of time to Dave now, much more than he was before. James setting the fastest lap of the race. It's a 1:33.8 on the hard compound tyres. Dave's Freak pulls into the pit lane, going for the overcut on the medium tyres, pitting 2 laps later than everybody else. Immortal still leading that gap under 5 seconds for the first time now. Dave again
Race
there.
director, race director says dabbing is good. Williams Racing, first cornering cutting and then terminal damage.
There you go. There was damage. Aaron closing in rapidly on his teammate, but unfortunately teammate in AI, so I imagine that move will be done quite quickly, although he's in a bad spot, having to follow them through the first section there. Sure, something he's not going to be overly pleased about. Should be able to get the move done into the hairpin though, you would hope. Not going to be held back for too long. Brick Grit into the pit lane, 15 seconds back on anyone else at the moment. Dave once again outside 1 second. Liam with another 3 seconds of time penalties there. Puts him almost within touching distance for Gravedigger. Not the race he wanted to have at all, that's for certain, but he's still within the points for now. Overtake mode and DRS both enabled for LCFC Dave. Wee Biscuits trading once again with James for fastest lap. And Aaron there finally getting by his teammate. Interesting, actually, that James doesn't seem to be going much quicker than Immortal at all, who's on significantly older hard tyres. Immortal showing a great amount of pace at the moment, and certainly gained from that safety car, virtual safety car. Doesn't count towards the prediction. We've only had the one so far, which we saw after the first corner. 2 retirements there, Adam Moore and Slicks. So early, in fact, the game doesn't seem to even be counting them as DNFs. Maybe did not start.
I'm on board with Immortal now, and his tires looks okay, it seems. And interesting thing is he goes on throttle very aggressively. I mean, he had confidence.
It's a strong position that he's in, because he's gained a good amount of time on Stars Orphan. And Thor, 2 cars he was running behind before the virtual safety car. Obviously, with another round of pit stops here, he's not going to get in front of James, but if there's a safety car, Immortal finds himself on the mediums, on a fresh set of mediums, and leading this race, presumably, barring anyone else staying out.
Immortal pitted there.
Yeah, Immortal decides to pit. off the hard compound tyres onto the mediums to see these out for the rest of the race. They won't need to pit again. They will comfortably make it to the end here. So we'll watch on board, see where they're going to come out here. I think it will be ahead. It will be a long ways ahead of Starzorf. And actually, those tyres are going to be cold, so there might still be an opportunity for the McLaren. But I think the gap is just going to be too big between the Ferrari and the McLaren there.
About 2 seconds.
2 seconds. I don't think I'd be surprised if we see Immortal lose 2 seconds here. Being on a softer compound, and that gap seems to be growing as well. So doing fine so far. And Immortal profiting well from the safety car and from the strategy choice by the looks of things.
Yeah, exactly. And then he can go for the podium, I think, with that penalty of Dave.
Yeah, I mean, 6 seconds to close up, definitely not the easiest task in the world, but with just under 10 laps to do it, on a much newer and softer set of tyres as well, he's in a strong position to do so. Just needs to start chipping away at the Red Bull, and as we saw, drivers taking 2 warm-up laps in qualifying, so don't expect that gap to start falling immediately, but after a lap or two, we should start to see him reel Dave in.
And as it stands right now, good points for Alpines. 2nd and 6th, not bad.
Yeah.
Results.
A really good points haul for the team currently in 2nd place in the championship. They fought their way back up there from P4. They dropped to after the departure of Modular Cat, but climbed their way up to P2. Only McLaren ahead of them.
Oh,
Mando,
Dave. Oh,
Dave around in the wall. Not retired yet though. Full safety car.
For what?
A car on track, I suppose.
Because Dave is running.
That is a late safety. Okay, you could. Oh, could you take the softs from here? It would be an ask, right? You probably wouldn't make them last.
Oh, really? Because the car is lighter.
Is James going to pit for a set of mediums? It looks like he's at least pitting. Biscuits has the opportunity here to stay out. He would get ahead if he stayed out, but he would sacrifice tyre advantage. He does stay out, so Wee Biscuits going to mix things up here. Immortal must stay out here as well, unless he thinks he can get this race done on the soft compound tyre. He's going to stay out on the mediums. I think that's the right choice. James is coming out of the pit lane now. I think he's on the mediums. And he is indeed on the medium compound tyres.
Oh! Immortal overtook him.
That is beautiful from Immortal to somehow get ahead there from so far back. I mean, he's thrown it in. I'm sure James won't be happy about that, but to somehow sneak ahead of the leader, that is very impressive stuff from Immortal.
Yeah, very opportunistic and just worked.
Oh, he got that so close. Biscuits has no new tyres. There we go. So decided to stick with those. So we've got a mix now. We've got our race leader, who is in a fairly easily defendable position into turn 1. It's not the longest straight, and it's not the heaviest braking zone at the end of it. He's on hards, old but not too old. And then you have Immortal, who's on mediums but used mediums for a few laps, and then James, who's on fresh mediums. There's a real mix going on here, which is incredibly exciting stuff.
Yeah, fantastic.
It's all going to kick off over these next few laps. Then you've got Stars Orphan in P4, who will no doubt be licking his lips and seeing an opportunity to make some moves, as he was 10 seconds back on the nearest driver. Motive Carrot, surely that's not AI. That car is all over the place there. No idea what is going on. It must be an AI
also
car.
Thor is in a good position. Sets up new mediums, sixth place, and let's see what he can do.
Yep, Thor. I mean, Aaron has gained a huge amount as well to be up in P5 after starting P15. And Motive Carrot going to pull into the pits after starting on the swapping to the hards. Is now going to go on to softs. Dave decides to retire in the pit lane after picking up another 3-second time penalty. That would have put him on 9. So that leaves us with just 11 runners left in this race. And a Motive Carrot is going to try and do just 6 laps on the soft compound tyre. Brick Grit into the pits once again. I think Brick Grit is probably going to struggle to actually catch up to the pack by the time the safety car comes in. In theory, it should be on this lap, but we'll see if Burnt Mylander is going to send people around for another slow lap of the circuit.
Interestingly, James get back in second place. I think that overtake was illegal, probably.
And he's holding it for now, so maybe one that's going to be sent to the steward's room there. Maybe Immortal decided to let him back through. I'm sure someone will have comments on that. Immortal at least still in the podium positions for now. Right. No calls so far for the safety car to come in, but it could be a late one still. And no, it is going to stay out for one more lap. So, should be enough time for Brick Grit to get back round, who I would presume is on the softs, and is on the softs. So we have 2 drivers now on the soft compound tyres to see these out until the end of the race. And I would say they're in a pretty strong position to do so.
Exactly. It's a huge advantage when you're on a set of soft tire. But you have to navigate the traffic and be lucky.
This should be it for now. I mean, we've seen late safety cars in Division 5. We had 1 lap of racing at round 2 around Australia. So if there's any more carnage, we could see that once again. But hopefully, these drivers can keep it clean on the way down to turn 1 and through the S's. It'll be Wee Biscuits this time, who will lead the way after James got 2 opportunities to do so at the start of this race. And the aforementioned Haas there looking quite eager to get going, driving alongside Biscuits almost on the exit of the hairpin. He'll be chomping at the bit. Biscuits got his first win 2 weeks ago, a race that I sadly did not bear witness to. But he's got an opportunity here to make it a double. Indication from the FIA should be coming in just a second as they get to the Sector 3 line. They're all bunched up. Surely the safety car will be in. And indeed it is. And Biscuits will back off, dictate the pace here. Full recharge of battery for everyone as well. So it's a level playing field now. A few different tyre strategies in fairness. And here we go. 5 laps to end this Japanese Grand Prix. Biscuits to lead the way. What on earth is going to happen here? He's off. He's got a good launch as well. Got on a pretty good ways ahead of James for now. Aaron's looking racy and trying to get past Stars Orphan here on the restart. Immortal struggling a little. Might have been caught out here by the McLaren. Not quite. Just about holding position as they go through turn 1. Side by side as the Mercedes and the McLaren. No drama just yet though. Everyone keeping it nice and tidy on the way through. Wee Biscuits continuing to lead here by 0.5 of a second. Immortal, that gap was over a second. He's clawed it back in already. They're all within a second so far. All the way down to P11. No contact made as they make their way through the S's as well. Biscuits continues to lead here. Looking pretty confident. There's a yellow flag. There's a car round. It's Dave's Freak who's found himself spinning, pointing the wrong way at the top of the S's there. The only one not to survive that starting section. Stars Orphan is using ERS to try and close up the gap to the Ferrari ahead of him here. He's outside of it by 0.3. The DRS train that is. He needs to pull back in that gap or he's going to be very vulnerable to the Mercedes behind him. Brick Grip moving ahead of Gravedigger in the Aston Martin there as well. Stars Orphan really needs to get a move on down this back straight. I think he's going to have to sacrifice some of his battery power in order to close up the gap. He's doing so, indeed, to get a better launch and hopefully pull away from the Scotsman, who's chasing him down at quite a rate behind him, despite Aaron being on the hard compound tyres. He's keeping up nice and close with that McLaren so far. The gap now only 0.6 between them, and Stars Orphan is well outside of DRS range. He's got nothing to worry about this time around, but on the next lap he certainly will, and he's going to have to be careful. He's got to get his foot down and catch that Ferrari at some rate. James is 0.6 back on Wee Biscuits here. Those medium tyres are going to be scrubbed quite quickly. He needs to get this move done very, very soon, and he's not close enough, anywhere near close enough at the moment. This is a true shootout for the win here. I mean, you've got 3 cars involved. Immortal could very much pick up the pieces if there's an incident here and take the lead off this race. James with the fastest Sector 1 of the race so far there. On a fresh set of mediums, you would expect it. They've been trading positions, Biscuits and James, in who's taking the fastest lap bonus point so far. But James maybe now going to take that lead once again, maybe for good. But don't forget, you've got 2 drivers still on the soft compound tyres. One of them being a Motive Carrot. Brick Grit as well has found 2 positions, one from the spinning Williams and managed to get past Gravedigger on track. Immortal now outside of a second, needs to claw that back in quickly because DRS is going to be enabled here. And James is going to start pulling away. He's way ahead of Stars Orphan though, so he doesn't have to worry about defending. But that McLaren certainly does. Aaron only 0.3 back.
I think the problem is right now cars are very light, so you can't get away with the slightly older tire.
Yeah, not as damaging. The level of grip is staying pretty consistent here by the looks of things.
You know, I expected that those soft runners be very faster than what we see.
There's a spinning Aston Martin further back. Aaron, who was looking to be on the hunt for Stars Orphan, has dropped off now, and it's given Thor an opportunity to cause some pressure and maybe get a move done here as they make their way to the hairpin. Not going to find a way past the Mercedes there just yet, but on a fresh set of medium tyres, you would expect Thor to be getting ahead of Aaron here. But it's not to be, and Stars is continuing to bunch up this pack and cause issues for these drivers. Make their way onto the back straight though, and this will be the last time that they don't have to worry about DRS here for a while. Stars has got to have a good run and make sure he's not vulnerable to 2 cars on the final straight. Aaron is out of the RS completely. Stars Orphan with 29% in the bank. Thor's got the most out of the lot of them, and he's got a decent run. He's got the freshest set of tyres too. Fastest lap there for Wee Biscuits goes to James, then goes back to Immortal, who's had a good lap. I don't think Aaron's going to be able to get the move done here. He's just not got the battery power to play with. The DRS not proving to be especially powerful as well. Yellow flags in sector 1. There goes Immortal. Immortal spun on the exit of turn 1, and he's lost his podium that he fought so hard for.
So unfortunate.
No contact with any cars further down the field, luckily. Wee Biscuits continues to lead. He's worn James' ERS supply all the way down to 10%. He's got 40 still in the bank. He's obviously vulnerable to DRS, but he doesn't really have to worry about the car behind now, despite being on harder and older tyres.
And Aaron also now pushing for the podium.
With a fantastic opportunity, yeah, to claim a podium here. That was a twitch from Stars Orphan on the through the right-hander, and it's left himself a little bit vulnerable going here into Spoon. I mean, I would be stunned if Aaron gets the move done there, and he's certainly not going for it. Took a lot of curb as well and slid forward, taking curb on the outside. Doesn't have the ERS to play with, but he's got the slipstream on the way down to 130R as well. He's going to use that to swing around the left-hand side, maybe get a move done into the chicane. We've seen him do one before in this race. He's very close to the back of that McLaren. He's thinking about it, decides to pull back inside. Now, as they make their way through the Casio Triangle, he's got an opportunity to open the DRS and get the move done on the McLaren. He's using battery power as well. Stars Orphan has nothing left. Here goes Aaron. He's got one opportunity really to do this. He's going to swing to the right-hand side and go as late as he possibly can to get ahead of the McLaren. They go side by side through turn 1, and Stars Orphan is even later, still side by side on the exit. The McLaren stays ahead just about. What a bit of racing that is. 3-second time penalty for Immortal. It's going from bad to worse as he pulls into the pit lane. It's like 5 seconds for speeding. It's not going good for him. Retires as well. Thor has got a great opportunity here too, but he's going to have to get past both cars on the way on the back straight, which is going to be a big ass. He's getting very close to the rear of Aaron there too. Liam's not too far behind, but has there's contact. There's contact made between Stars Orphan and Aaron. They went. There's more contact. Oh my god! Thor. Oh no! Thor's round. Stars Orphan. Oh my! It's all happening. It's all happening now. Multiple instances of contact there. Cars bumping all the way through the hairpin. Absolute carnage happening. Liam is going to move ahead of Stars Orphan, who has a penalty now to boot. James is nowhere near Wee Biscuit, so the Alpine is going to win this race. Aaron is somehow going to claim P3 in the process. Liam is going to be in P4, but he's got a penalty to worry about. Stars Orphan is closing up that gap as quick as he possibly can. Brick Grit is suddenly now into P6 after pitting for the softer Gotthard tyres, and Thor with an absolute nightmare. So much of that is going to go to the steward's room. I'm certain Aaron will finish P3 and will get a podium after starting P15. Wow. Just wow.
And Alfa Romeo of DC80, great result. He was like at the back of the grid, 10 lap to go.
Just shows the difference in compound here can make such a huge difference.
Exactly.
Just what a drive from several of these drivers. I mean, there was a number of situations there that just couldn't be helped, but oh, wow. Right then. We'll let this play out and hopefully speak to as many of these drivers as we can.
Really fantastic race.
Put a poll up in chat there for people to vote for their driver of the day. What a race that was. It all kicked off at the end there. Absolute chaos, but that's kind of what you expect to see from Division 5. Incredible stuff. Give us some of your thoughts as we get these drivers in, and I'll have you ask them a few questions as well.
Yeah, it was a fantastic race. I enjoyed a lot, and a few like great drive by like V Biscuit, great drive and great strategy. Keep it cool. Um, Manage those restart and everything. So yeah, impressed with him. Also James, Aaron, our friend, and to come from like P15 to finish on the podium, just fantastic to watch.
And it all kicked off at the end there, Aaron. But regardless, you've got to be pleased with how that went.
Can anyone tell me what happened in like that second sector? Like, because Stars often got a 10-second penalty.
It looked to me that there was contact made between yourself and him. I don't know who was to blame. It happened too quickly. I think because he cut the inside of the hairpin and ended up all the way on the left hand side. It's given him a 10-second time penalty for corner cutting.
Right.
Even though obviously not his fault and nothing he can do, but because it happened at the end and obviously wasn't served, I would hope that the stewards can look at removing that penalty.
Yeah.
Aside from that, what a drive from you to start from the back of the field. Run us through it. How did that go?
Well, my leg actually shaking at the moment, so I don't actually know what happened. Like I said it in Abu Dhabi. I don't know why I'm here. Yeah, it was. I thought I was completely out of that, to be honest with you. Like after that incident at the first safety car.
Yeah, there were a number of drivers, including yourself, who got caught out very early on. Immortal as well was finding himself in a very, very strong position. Was on for a podium there too.
Yeah.
After being caught at the start, but you recovered it well. Strategy obviously played into your hands fantastically. But was it? Yeah. How did you feel? How did the car feel throughout the race?
The car felt so bad. I swear, man. It was so bad. I don't know what happened.
Well, congratulations, regardless. Even if you don't know how you ended up there, we'll see what happens at the end when it comes to stewarding and everything else. But well done on the podium, and yeah, what a drive from you, mate. Congrats.
Thank you very much.
Ash, you got any questions?
Now, just congratulations to Aaron. We cheer for you.
I'll let you take it away with James as well, if you'd like.
Oh, James. Here's hello. Here's Ash. Could you please tell us about the race you were leading, just for the like most of the race, and then safety car happened. You decided to pit, and obviously Wibiscuit decided to stay out. And could you please explain to us what happened?
I thought the mediums would have gone better than the softs. I think I was correct in what I was thinking, but I was expecting his hards to fall off a lot quicker than what they did, and unfortunately, he caught me out on the restart, on that last restart, by going a bit too early. Well, a bit early compared to how I went, and it made me use a lot more of the tyre than I thought I'd have to in the end. But annoyed that I'm not P1, but I'll take it as second place. I won't complain.
Yeah, nevertheless, great drive by you, and we impressed where you're driving, and also the great lap in qualifying. They were very close in terms of lap times, but you nailed it. So congratulations on the podium,
Thank you very much.
and wish you all the best.
Cheers, mate.
Right. Well, I will say thank you and goodbye to you, Ash. I need to jump into a different call so we can speak to our race winner, Wee
Yeah,
Biscuits. But
thank you
thank you
so
for
much for
commentating.
thank you for having me. Pleasure to be here, and let's hope see you next time.
No worries. All right, we will jump in then and speak to Wee Biscuits here, our race winner today. See if we can have a small word with him. Two-time race winner, Mr. Biscuits. Go on then, run us through that. How did that go?
Oh, going into this race, I thought there was no chance of me winning. I was not confident in the setup or the lap times. And then going into qualifying, I wasn't really I was going to take points in a good qualifying position. But I got P2 and I was like, there's a big chance here I'll win. But when I overtook James and he got me back the next second lap and pulled 2 seconds, and I thought there's no way I was winning this race whatsoever. But safety car's a miracle.
Yeah, I mean, I know you gave us the reason already, but it was purely that you had no fresh tires, right? That you stayed out.
Yeah, I had used softs and 2 used and just 1 used medium, and I was only at 18% wear, so I just took a massive gamble.
Look, if we've seen anything, or if we've learnt anything from Division 5 this season, it's that the gambles pay off. And yeah, awesome stuff to keep the car planted and stable throughout all of that as well. Just stellar. Great drive. Had a little vote there, and you were correctly voted driver of the day. I mean, absolutely, what a performance to hold it as well, to not get involved in any drama, because there was certainly a lot further down the field. So yeah, smart to avoid that. How are you feeling about next week's race as well?
I don't know, to be honest. Sanfort's a bit of a tricky one because there's a lot of curbs that kill you, just send you off. But I always say this: as long as I can get points, I'll be happy.
Yeah. Well, you scored a huge amount today. I don't think should be worrying about that. That puts you just over the 100-point mark for the season, which I'm sure you're going to be pleased about. There's a nice little fight going on between sort of yourself and James and Thor and Aaron as well. Stars is always ahead. I think anyone with 4 races to go now, it'll be a tough ask to catch him. But are you feeling confident about maybe reaching P2?
If I keep this consistency up, it's definitely on. But the main focus is probably the Constructors' Championships and bridge that gap to McLaren up front, because it's only like 60 points. Yeah,
I thought with a decent race as well today. So yeah, no, I think if the consistency is there, you guys can definitely be up towards the top, which would be awesome to see.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I thought when Modular Cat left, it looked like there was no chance of us finishing top 3, to be honest. But just building up this consistency from the season break, and it's paid off a lot.
Well, congratulations on winning your second race. I'm very glad I could be here for this one at least and watch it in all its glory. Well done once again. And hopefully we'll... let's see if you can make it a hat trick next time out.
Let's hope so.
All right. Well, that's us done then for RSF1 Division 5. That was round 14, the Japanese Grand Prix. An eventful one, as always, but that's what you tune in for every week. Speaking of, we're back with you once again, 8 p.m. every single Tuesday. We've 4 races to go now. It'll be the Dutch Grand Prix next time out. A crazy track is Zandvoort, and I'm sure going to open itself up to more carnage. Hopefully we'll see a full grid, but a nice set of drivers. Thank you to everybody, as I said before, for the kind messages today. Really, really appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing out the rest of the season with you all as well, and a nice little championship battle on the cards here too. Good night all, and there'll be a race here again tomorrow, I believe, so please tune in for that as well. Say hello to your streamer and commentator. Appreciate it very much. My name is Harvey OC, as always, and I'll see you next week. Good night.